She posted about unconditional love 14 days before she was arrested for a mother's murder. That is the first document in this case. A TikTok caption dated June 9th, written by a 21-year-old woman named Kitty Diaz, describing her 4-year-old son as the one who saved her life, the one who gave her purpose, the one who made everything worth it. Those are her words, not pulled from a legal filing, not read into evidence. Just out there, on a public feed for anyone to see. And then on June 19th, a mother of 5 named Caroline Pena was stabbed twice in the back and once in the stomach on a busy street in Del Rio, Texas, at 2:10 in the afternoon. By 4 o'clock, Kitty Diaz and her sister Cookie were being walked out in handcuffs, and one of them smiled at the camera. Before we go deeper into what the documents actually show, make sure you're subscribed to Crime Files 911, because we don't just cover the story, we follow the evidence. Think of a microwave timer, the kind that counts down in red numbers, loud enough to hear from the next room. At 2:10, the timer starts. Caroline Pena is bleeding on a street corner near a Sonic drive-in. At 4 o'clock, the timer is still running. She is in a hospital, being airlifted to San Antonio, and the Diaz sisters are being placed into police cruisers, smiling. At 9 o'clock that night, the timer stops. Caroline Pena is dead. The smiles had already happened. The video had already been uploaded. The paperwork, the booking photos, the initial charges, all of it was processed before the victim's heart stopped beating. That is not a timeline you see every day. That is not normal. That is a 5-hour window where the suspects were already in custody, already processing through a system designed for the living, while the woman they allegedly attacked was still fighting for her life. And somewhere in that gap, someone thought it was funny. The smiles were already loaded. The arrest video is not a court exhibit yet, but it exists. It was captured by a local YouTube account called Good Citizen in Del Rio, and it shows one of the suspects, Cookie Diaz, 19 years old, being walked out of her home or a vehicle, still in handcuffs, still under arrest for a crime that had just been reported 2 hours earlier. And she smiles. Not a nervous smile, not the grimace of someone in shock, a full, amused, almost performative smile directed at the camera. She even says something. The exact quote has not been released by police, but local reporting suggests it was something along the lines of telling the person recording to stop. The tone was not fear, it was not confusion, it was irritation, as if the inconvenience of being filmed was the real problem here. As if the handcuffs were the main event, and the reason for them was secondary. Kitty Diaz, the older sister, the one who wrote those words about unconditional love, was also arrested that afternoon. She is in the same video. She does not smile in the same way, but she is present. She is part of the same transaction. And both of them are now sitting in a correctional facility in Del Rio, waiting for an indictment that has not yet been filed, while their friend Chandra Faz, also arrested, also 21, waits alongside them. 3 women, 1 victim, 3 stab wounds, 2 hours to make arrests. 5 hours before the victim died. The paperwork already knew. The Del Rio Police Department has not released a motive. They have not released the video of the actual attack. They have not confirmed whether the 3 suspects knew Caroline Pena before that afternoon or whether this was a confrontation that escalated in a matter of minutes. What they have confirmed is the location, the 800 block of 10th Street, near a Sonic restaurant, in a city of 35,000 people that usually makes headlines for immigration processing, not street corner stabbings. They have confirmed the nature of the injuries. 2 in the back, 1 in the stomach. And they have confirmed the timeline, the 911 call at 2:10, the arrests at around 4, the death at 9. That is all they have confirmed. Everything else is a hole. But holes are not empty, they are not absence, they are invitation. A filing cabinet drawer that was never opened, not because it was locked, but because no one wanted to know what was inside. That is what the silence from law enforcement looks like right now. They are tight-lipped, which is standard procedure. They are gathering evidence, which is expected. They are waiting for the DA to bring charges, which is procedural. But that silence also creates a vacuum, and into that vacuum has rushed everything else. The TikTok posts, the arrest video, the photos that have since been taken down from social media, images allegedly showing Caroline Pena in a blood-stained pink shirt surrounded by 3 women. Those images are no longer available to the public. They were removed, but they existed, they were seen. And they are part of the reason this case has already become a spectacle before any court has even set a date. Caroline Pena was 32 years old. She was a mother of 5. Her friends called her Caro. She posted videos of herself on a boat with her family just a few weeks before she died. She was a fighter, according to one friend who spoke to Fox News, standing her ground, still upright, even as she was being attacked. Another friend said Caroline tried to call her shortly before the stabbing. She missed the call because she was at work. She wrote about that guilt on Facebook, saying she would never forgive herself, saying if she had answered, none of this would have happened. That friend called Caroline her sister, her person, the one she would call at 5:30 in the morning just to talk. Those are the details you find when you look. They are not part of the police report. They are part of the human record. The suspect profiles tell a different story. Kitty Diaz's TikTok is filled with love for her son. Cookie Diaz, at 19, has no criminal history in public records. Chandra Faz, at 21, has no obvious prior arrests either. They are not the usual suspects in the usual narrative. They are not the hardened criminals you expect to see in a murder booking. They are young. They are women. They are mothers and friends. And that cognitive dissonance is precisely why this case is so disturbing. It also explains why the arrest video went viral. The smiling suspect is not a new phenomenon. Law enforcement veterans will tell you that perp walks produce all kinds of reactions: shock, defiance, numbness, sometimes even laughter. But laughter is rare. Laughter in a murder case is rarer. Laughter in a case where the victim is still alive when the suspect is being booked is almost unheard of. That is what sets this apart. Cookie Diaz was not smiling at a crime she knew she had committed. She was smiling at a crime she had allegedly committed hours earlier, while the woman she stabbed was still breathing, still fighting, still receiving treatment in San Antonio. The disconnect is not just emotional, it is temporal. She was already processing through the system, already mentally moving on, before the person she allegedly harmed had been pronounced dead. That is not just a bad look, that is evidence. And prosecutors will use it. The smiles were already loaded. The question of motive is the one everyone wants answered. Friends of Caroline Pena say she was a fighter, which suggests she did not go down easily. They say she was surrounded by 3 women, which suggests coordination. They say she had a pink shirt stained with blood, which suggests the attack was not quick. Police have not said whether any weapon was recovered. They have not said whether more than one knife was involved. They have not said whether the suspects were in a vehicle or on foot, whether they knew each other beforehand, whether there was a prior relationship, a prior argument, a prior anything. All of that is still under investigation. All of that is still unknown. But there is a question that does not require a lab report. There is a question that can be asked right now with no evidence needed. What happens to a person's moral compass when they can post about unconditional love one week and smile at an arrest for murder the next? That is not a legal question. That is not a forensic question. That is a question for anyone who watched the video and felt the ground shift underneath them. How do you reconcile those two realities? Is it compartmentalization? Is it denial? Is it something else entirely? Something we are not equipped to understand because we have not been trained to see it. The retired NYPD detective who analyzed this case for Law and Crime said the disconnect is mind-boggling. He said youth crime is on the rise. He said there is a broken morality, a fractured sense of right and wrong, that seems to be afflicting younger people who are obsessed with social media and likes and the performance of life rather than life itself. Those are his words. He said it on camera. He is not a hack psychologist, as he put it. He is a detective. He deals in evidence. And the evidence, in this case, includes a smile. But here's the thing about that video. Here's the thing about the perp walk, the booking, the entire spectacle. It is not just about what it says about the suspects. It is about what it says about the system. The video was released. It was shared. It was turned into a headline. And now it is part of the public record, whether the prosecution wants it to be or not. That video will be used. The defense will try to explain it away. They will say she was nervous. They will say she did not understand the gravity of the situation. They will say it was a trauma response. And the prosecution will point to the timeline. They will point to the 2-hour gap between the stabbing and the arrest. They will point to the 5-hour gap between the arrest and the death. And they will ask the jury one question. If you knew someone had been stabbed, if you knew the severity of those wounds, if you knew she might not survive, would you smile? That is not a legal argument. That is a human argument. It is the kind of question that does not need a law degree to answer. It needs a conscience. The case is still in its earliest stages. The suspects have not been indicted. The court dates have not been set. The DA has not decided whether to pursue the death penalty, which is on the table in Texas, or life without parole, or something else entirely. The defense has not made its opening arguments, has not introduced its experts, has not told its side of the story. All of that is coming. All of that will be litigated in the months and possibly years ahead. But the public record is already forming. And the public record includes the TikTok posts, the arrest video, the smiling mugshot, the unanswered calls, the friend's grief, the pink shirt, the street corner, the Sonic drive-in, the small town on the border, the mother of 5 who posted a boat video and then died. The paperwork already knew. When you put it all together, the case is not a mystery. It is a collection of facts waiting to be ordered. The mystery is the human behavior. The mystery is the disconnect. The mystery is how someone gets from unconditional love to a smile in handcuffs in 14 days. And the investigation will answer some of that. The interrogations will answer more. The trials will answer the rest. But there is one thing that will not be answered by a witness or a lab result or a plea deal. And that is the question of whether the system will treat this the same way it treats any other murder, or whether the viral nature of the video will change something. Because that is the tension here. That is the undercurrent. The video went viral. The New York Post ran it. Good Citizen captured it. And now everyone has seen it. The suspects are famous for the worst possible reason. And that fame, that exposure, that brutal scrutiny, it will follow them into the courtroom. Is that justice? Or is that another layer of the spectacle? That is the question you have to ask. Not whether they did it. The evidence will determine that. Not whether they will be convicted. The jury will determine that. But whether the viral moment, the smile, the perp walk, the social media posts, The entire modern machinery of outrage and curiosity and voyeurism, whether that becomes part of the case in a way that distorts the truth. Because the truth is not complicated. A woman died. 3 women are accused. The timeline is tight. The video is damning. The motive is unknown. Those are the facts. Everything else is context. But context is not nothing. Context is how we understand. Context is how we decide. The smiles were already loaded. Here is what you can do right now. Go to the Val Verde County Sheriff's Office website or the Del Rio Police Department's Public Records portal. Look for the arrest affidavits once they are released. They are not public yet, but they will be. And when they are, read them. Do not read the headlines. Do not watch the video again. Read the actual charging documents. See what the police say happened in their own words with their own probable cause, in their own jurisdiction. Then ask yourself one question: does the smile mean what you think it means? Or does it mean something else entirely? That is the research. That is the follow-up. That is what we do here. We do not just watch. We read. We verify. We question. We do not assume. If this story affected you, if the smile made you uncomfortable, if the timeline seemed impossible, if the disconnect felt like something more than just a bad reaction, then hit the like button, share this video, subscribe to Crime Files 911, and turn on notifications, because we are going to follow every step of this case. We are going to track the affidavits, the indictment, the court dates, the trial. We are going to stay on it until the verdict, and we are going to ask the questions that the viral clips leave out, because the paperwork already knew, the video already happened, the smile already existed, and now we have to decide what to do with it. Subscribe to Crime Files 911. Follow the evidence. And when the affidavits drop, read them for yourself. Then come back and tell us what you found.